Hey guys, welcome to Two Split. If you wanted to buy headphones and you made a list of top 10, maybe even top 5, you were most likely to see the Sony 1000 XM4s and the Bose NC700 on that list, probably in the top 3 in my personal opinion, especially for the budget and the quality they kick out. In this video, we're going to compare them to see who does what better, or not necessarily better, but the different quirks they take in terms of design, output, and so on and so forth. And then you can tell me what you think in the comments below. Let's get it. So first thing, there are a few things I could not make up my mind on these two. These two headphones. One of them was comfort. They're both really comfortable, especially amongst the people I tested them with. They wore them for 3 hours at a go, and they both said they were comfortable. They did have their nitpickings here and there. This one with pressure around the ear, depending on how you put it. And this one tried to reduce pressure around the top of your head, but again, we couldn't really decide, so they're both comfortable. Let's get that out of the way. In terms of their controls, they're pretty much aligned. They're the same-ish. They both have manual and touch inputs. Manual for power, touch for tap, for slide, swipe up and down, and so on and so forth. So they both do those pretty well. They both have their hits and misses in that regard, but generally, they both work. So those are things that I think they tie on, in my opinion. Moving on to things they do not tie on that make the difference. Let's start with design. The 1000 XM4s, they kept the original form factor. Didn't change a thing, as a matter of fact. This is the same form factor from the XM3s, and they're traditional, if you will, as my friend would call it. And I think so too, but there's nothing wrong with traditional, right? They're really comfortable, they're really good, but that's the design. If that's your thing, then you'll be well at home here. But the Bose decided to get off that traditional style and went for a unique aluminum band, depending where you live, and made a neater, almost floating head cup style approach. Like there's nothing attaching them. So I think they're a bit more futuristic and they're cleaner in design. So in terms of design form factor, I think the Bose are a step ahead in that regard. So this round goes to the Bose NC700s. Moving on really quickly, this battery life. How long do these last? If you had to use them, you had to go on a long trip. The Bose NC700s will eke out 20 hours of battery life, and that's with noise cancelling on. No option to really turn them off, but 20 hours, boom. These bad boys will give you 30 hours of battery life, 10 hours more with noise cancelling on. They can even eke out 38 hours if you turn off noise cancelling. So that's a lot of juice. So without much ado, battery power, the juice power goes to the Sony XM4s. In terms of features, when I mean features, extra bits you throw in here and there just to enhance the usability and the experience you get with these headphones. They both have something called sort of like 3D sound, right? For the Bose, it's called AR sound. For the Sony's is 360. They both have basic adjustments when it comes to EQs when you're using the apps. Both apps help you adjust for varying sound levels as you would like. But in terms of extra bits, the Sony takes it a step ahead in terms of its dynamic adjustment for where you are. The app the headphones can detect whether you're sitting, standing, or walking and adapt the sound accordingly. It can detect whether you're in a house or you're in a noisy environment. It has a feature where you can put one hand over the right ear cup and it pauses the music in case you're trying to listen to someone. If you take it off, it pauses. Okay, I think the Bose does that well, but again, there's this whole list of features that are in here that enhance the sound quality of these and give you that whole experience. It even has something called DSEE Extreme that upscales downsampled music files to give them better quality as you listen. So feature-wise, this thing is really advanced, really good. Don't get me wrong, Bose is good, but feature-wise, this kicks. But moving on to microphone quality. If you're making a call, which sounds better. So these two intentionally cut out frequencies somewhere in the 200 hertz range, right? And they do that because they're trying to cut out the background noise so they can focus on your voice. But I've noticed that if you have a higher pitch voice, your voice is more likely to come across more clearly. But the deeper your voice is, it'll cut off your volume if it's really deep-ish. They both do that, but I think the Sonys do that a bit more in a bit to get cleaner audio quality. But that sacrifices volume, at least in the testing we've done. I got clearer call quality, especially in line with people I called. Again, my voice is a little thinny. So they said it sounded a bit more clear on the NC700s. So in terms of mic quality, I'm gonna give it to the NC700s. You might get varying results. Let me know in the comments below. But this is what we found in usage over the last 6 months or so, maybe more. Yes, why this would make your list for top headphones of the year? Noise canceling, other than the sound quality, which we will get to in a minute. But noise canceling. Noise canceling, basically these headphones, they pick up sounds coming in from the outside using external microphones and generate a counterwave to neutralize that. And they do that multiple times a second. I think the Sonys do that about 400 or 700 times a second. I can't remember. But something you're completely oblivious to, but it's happening, all to give you that quiet sound. Who does it better, or which item does it better? They're both really, really good. Like I said, top of the range. But I've gotten better results, and I think it's because of the adaptive nature of the Sony XM4s. Depending on where you're standing, sitting, walking, these can determine that and sort of try to adapt based on the environment. These have really killer, really good noise canceling. I mean, they were king for many years, no competition, until Sony came on the scene, again, in this price range. But for these two precise headphones, it was a tough one, it was a tough call, but again, the Sonys eke out ahead in terms of noise canceling, in my opinion anyway. Again, another reason they make that list is because they sound awesome. These two headphones are premium, top of the line. For the price, there are headphones that cost a little more, Apple, but these two are fantastic. But which one sounds better? And you'd have to sort of boil that down to the different devices that are kicking them out and what is embedded and what they can take in terms of drivers and codecs. So in terms of codecs, the NC700s are pretty much capped out at AAC codecs, and then you have your standard SBC codec, which is a bit of a disadvantage when it comes to some devices that can kick out the higher LDAC codec, which is proprietary to Sony, but so far it gives in terms of best quality in terms of Bluetooth audio transmission. The XM4 support that, and so that gives them a step ahead. The bass on this is enough to move your head without muffling out the mids and the highs in any genre you're playing at all. This does that too, but this does that just a tad better, again, in my testing. And I think because in codec variation, but if you think about it though, if you're an Apple user, you're never gonna get that LDAC experience. So if you're Bose for life, there's really no point moving over here if that's going to be your only selling factor. You might as well stick with the Bose NC700s. But again, the Sonys in terms of versatility of sound codecs and audio quality, a little ahead of the Bose NC700s. I'm a Bose fan, so this hurts for me as much as it hurts for you. But it is what it is. The test is the test. Sorry guys. So bottom line, these are two really good headphones. Really good, top of the line in my opinion, but the Sony does eke out a bit in certain aspects, and these are just features or quirks, which may not count if you're not using devices that kick out certain codecs, if we're talking about codec and quality. But if you're into all the features as well, you may get a little bit more here, but again, they are both really good. Let me know if I've skipped anything that may outweigh the other in the comments below. Please don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button if you can. It really helps me, encourage me to do more content, if you will. Thanks guys for watching. I will see you in the next video. Take care.